Okay, well, welcome back, and this is the 23rd video in the series on techniques for developing a workload tracker, and I think we're getting very close to the end here, if not the end one. Um, just by way of review, for those you are following along, we were finishing up with placing some reports in a little way on the FRM main, and as you click here, since this is the first one for the day, you can see that it updates it updates into these little sunken boxes. Now I've taken the opportunity to do some minor stylistic change, but nothing substances since the last video. I did some rollover colors of green and made this a sunken. And the text box or the day sheet I think was the same. The exit box, just to make sure that I mentioned about this, let's bring up the property sheet. The embedded macro for this, I changed it to quit access instead of just quit the form. I'm not sure if during the last video I mentioned about the auto exec script, bring up the navigation pane. But it's something that you can create that as soon as the database is launched, it'll open up to FRM main, and if you save it with the navigation pane collapsed, it'll bring it up in the same view. You can add more tabs across the top to reflect your specialty, and one of the things that may be convenient to do if you're going to put buttons on, and they say that only any clinical specialty has about 300 buttons. And well, let me just go through an example of what may be convenient. So if we go to the office procedure and highlight this, right click and copy, and then return to main. And we'll just look at this row of buttons. It has the CPT, the RVU value, and a description. But if you go to the layout view, click on the button and bring up the property sheet, you might notice that the button has a name, and the button BTN is 11.305, 306, 307, so on. So if you give the buttons a name, but you'll notice they have no click event. So if you do a click event macro builder, Control V, and then if you notice the name of the button, which I have a tendency to do is forget, is written right here if you name it, and then you don't have to look back or write it down, and you're pretty certain that you're putting in the right button. So you can then just move to the next one, and you can do a whole row of buttons. 306. Save and close. So I think you can see I'm creating buttons pretty quickly here. And then you can go back and check them. I'm going to do this. Control A, Control C. 11.307. It's nice when if you have it so that this is already exposed when you do your pasting in. I'll show you what I mean. Macro builder. So you don't have to open it up. It's already ready to accept this number instead of that number. 308. Save and close. We'll go to this one. I'm just going to do a couple more just to prove to you how fast you can get in the flow of this. Save and close. Okay, let's do one more and then we'll call it quits. Okay, and we'll just check that row. We'll go back to save and go back to the form view. And we'll check and watch for 305. There's 305, 306, 307, 308, 310, 311, 312, 313. Okay, and there it is. It updated. If you were doing shave biopsies, that many shave biopsies, it would update your RVU total, and your worksheet would reflect those that just went in. Okay, and well, I'm going to end it right there, and I hope you get some use out of this. And you can send me an email if you have any questions. Be happy to respond.